Alright, boys and girls, today we're gonna cook filet mignon. By a variety of opinions, filet mignon is supposed to be the king of meats. I disagree. I think filet mignon is pretty good. It is absolutely the most tender cut of beef, but I don't think it is the best cut. But that's just my opinion, and at this point, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to clean it up because this is a whole filet mignon. I purchased this at Western Beef. It's good enough, it's not too expensive. Western Beef is a good place to buy meat as far as I'm concerned. This is what we have, the filet mignon, and kind of has this, it's beautiful meat. What can I say? But anyway, to clean it up, we basically need to remove all this film, all this tendon, and all this stuff. So that's what I'm doing. Just kind of like clean it up. It's fairly easy to clean up. Just kind of go over it with a knife, drop it. And the biggest part is this big silver skin or whatever it's called, tendon that goes over. You absolutely have to remove it because otherwise it's gonna ruin your steak. So here we go. And the way to remove this is to basically, it's fairly easy to remove. I think I'm better off this way. There, you just kind of grab it and start peeling on it, and it just comes off. And you should sharpen the knife, becoming a bit wasteful. Here we go. You just kind of point the sharp edge of the knife upward to keep on separating the meat from the tendon, and you go up and it comes off in this clean strips. And you repeat. This is kind of like already. Just like that. This guy. Somebody say that, oh, I should be wearing gloves to do this. I don't know. Maybe I should be, but I'm not a butcher. I don't do it professionally. I do it from time to time. And unless you have cuts on your hands, I really don't see the harm. I don't know. I've never experienced any issues with handling the meat with my bare hands. In fact, it gives me more control and it's easier to deal with it. So yeah, there's this sliver of fat that we probably want to remove because it's just kind of good for nothing. Just clean that up. Just anything that you see that is not meat, get rid of it. If it's white and tendony looking, cut it out. There you go. Some stuff here. There you go. Basically, go through it piece by piece because all those tendons, filet mignon by itself, it's the tenderloin, that's what they call it. It's tender. It's the part of the body of a cow that basically does the least amount of work. So the meat is extremely soft and tender, and it's really good eating. I don't know why the hell is this tip so kind of cooked looking. I'm just gonna remove this. All this white. I get really meticulous in cleaning my meat because I don't know, I just like the final product to be. It seems like, I don't even know what it is. Maybe when I was defrosting the meat in sous vide, that kind of ended up cooking. I probably set the temperature a little high. Usually I use my sous vide to defrost the meat because it does it quite well and real quick. You just basically put the chunk of meat in a bag, throw it in a sous vide machine. I usually set the temperature to 100 degrees, which is not enough to cook the meat, but it's plenty to actually keep it warm. And then I turn it on, and 15-20 minutes later, this chunk of meat is defrosted, which is what I did in this case. And now, apparently, I may have not set the temperature to 100 and whatever, to 100 degrees. I may have actually inadvertently set it to a higher temperature or didn't pay enough attention and set it to a higher temperature. And so now it is, I managed to cook that tip a little bit. Anyway, so here's what we're gonna do. You see how it is much thinner and flat on this end, but it is really thick and full on this, like coming from about here right? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna fold this piece here over like that, and we're gonna cook it this way, tie it up so that it has equal thickness all across. And I'm gonna put all this stuff in a bag. I'm gonna tie it up, season it, classic salt and pepper, tie it up, and I'm going to submerge it into the sous vide and cook it at 130 degrees, like probably set it to 128 degrees, but I have family members who are a little bit apprehensive about eating like blood red meat. So I'm gonna set it to 130 degrees and cook it for, I would say, 2.5 hours. I'm going to be using the mixture that I prepared in advance to season the meat. So I'm gonna lay it out here, flat out like this. And I'm going to carefully, just kind of from every direction. You want to flip it every which way because it's a big piece of meat and it needs its seasoning. Look at this. It's like my brother-in-law calls it cooking a baby. I wouldn't go so far. There's nothing that resembles a baby here. For you meat lovers, that might be a good statement. Okay, so this is pretty well seasoned at this point. I'm just gonna roll it and pick up whatever is on the board. And now fold it over the way it's supposed to be. There. And now we're gonna tie it up. So here we go, nice and tied up. Now we're gonna bag it and tag it. You know what, I might have rubbed off some of the good stuff, so I'm gonna add a little bit more seasoning to it. Excellent. Nice and tight it gets there. And a touch of goodness that we're gonna add to it is from my own garden. We're gonna add some rosemary. Both ends. And some Italian parsley. Because really nice. Flavorful, and it just gives the meat that extra roundness and deliciousness that we all want in our steak. Now I'm gonna flip this over. I'm gonna submerge it and use the water displacement technique, so to speak, to get all the air out of that bag so that the bag is nice and tight and hugs that meat perfectly all the way. And I keep on submerging it for all the air to get pushed out till it is, boom, done. Just like that. And now that the meat is floating in there, like I said earlier, I'm gonna set it to 130 degrees and I'm gonna let it fly. And I'm gonna set this for 2.5 hours. And off we go. And the meat is going to continue to cook in there for 2.5 hours at exactly 130 degrees Fahrenheit to a perfect medium rare. And then we will come back to it when it's ready to be taken out. At this point, we're gonna make the jus sauce for our dinner today. So now I just cleaned up 2 onions, 1 large white one and 1 yellow one. So I'm just gonna slice them up. Oh, it's going crazy here. Why do onions come with paper? Why can't they just make a paperless onion? Not that I'm suggesting that we should be bioengineering onions now here, but just saying. That's one. So we're gonna cut this onion, not too thin, not too thick, just, although you know what, the thinner probably would be better because it's gonna cook faster. But I still have time, I still have about an hour on the meat side of the business, so we're okay, we're good. It's all good. Now the little onion, we're gonna make that jus sauce. What we're doing is, like the other weekend I failed on the on making a video of French dip. I'm gonna try to save it and go through footage and see what I can actually save from it, and maybe I can make an episode. It's probably not going to be a complete episode, it's going to be missing chunks, but whatever. But in this one I'm making filet mignon, so instead of making it a dinner plate type thing with like potatoes or rice or whatnot, I have decided to go with the Greek gyros type style setup. So instead of bread, I'm gonna use this, what are they? Tandoor baked naan breads. And they're really good, very tasty, and you know. So I'm gonna make this wraps with tandoor and the onions and filet mignon slices, dressed with like a special dressing. What I did yesterday was, I'll show you. So yesterday I was making some orange juice, and as I was making orange juice, I had a pile of orange juice peeled, the zest. So I didn't know what to do with it, and my wife wanted it for, you know, for our little garden as a fertilizer type thing. So I was like, well, okay, I'll give you that, but you know, I wonder what happens if I actually juice the zest. So I did that. I juiced the orange peels, and this came out. And it's like, this is an amazing substance. I mean, right now it's cold, so it's kind of thick, but as you can see, it's almost buttery orange sauce type thing. It's quite delicious. It's bitter. There is no question about it. It's very, very flavorful with the orange and stuff, and bitter to taste. But what I did with it, I created this sauce. I mean, it's obviously in the Dijon mustard can, but I mixed it with different variations of other sauces. I like added some mayo to it, and I added the zest, the mayo, the horseradish, Worcestershire sauce, some mustard, some hot sauce, I think some sriracha, and I just like whipped it up and mixed it up, and it came into this very interesting, spicy, very, very spicy sauce. Putting that as a layer on those naans to like kind of base it, and then fried onions, steak, the jus deep, like, so you could actually have the naan bread au jus, if you will. And this is going to be something interesting. I don't think you'll find this kind of, you know, improvisation often. So this is what we're going with today. We're going with naan bread stuffed with filet mignon and the jus sauce. All right, so we have our onions, and now we're gonna start mixing some of the jus. So we're gonna start with 2 cups of water for our jus sauce, and I am going to put 2 full teaspoons of this stuff. I already mentioned this before, the Better Than bouillon. Amazing, wonderful for making bouillon. So I'm gonna drop 1. Ugh, this is sticky. 2. Because they're not really full, so I'm gonna compensate like this. 2.5. Okay. I'll scrape this back into the, because I don't think I need any more. Okay. Close this up, put this away. Next we're gonna add some whiskey. About this much. Yeah, a little more. Who doesn't like whiskey? And then we mix. And we'll also add thyme. Fresh thyme. It is exactly what it needs. And I like to be really liberal with thyme because the flavor that it brings is just to die for. Here we go. Put that thyme in there. This is not dried, not, you know, whatever thyme. This is fresh. And then we mix it. And then we're gonna put it on the stove and let it cook. You can't see me putting it on the stove, but you know, it's all good. Now, I am gonna show you something on the stove. So you can see the jus is over there. We're gonna grab cooking pan, my scratched up, beat up, beloved cooking pan. I'm gonna put a bunch of avocado oil on it. And I'm gonna crank it up and let it get hot. All right, as that's getting hot, what we're gonna do is cut up some garlic. These don't have much garlic, but it is what it is, that's all I got. So, break it up. A little bit of little ones are a little bit more tough. Okay. See how it just falls out of the shell? So yeah, we're just gonna go with that. Last but not least, whatever, I'm just gonna most of it is properly cut, so I'm just going to drop this. The sauce is already boiling, and here we have our garlic. So I'm going to throw the garlic in there and let it cook a bit. Sauce, I can lower the fire, the heat now. So the sauce no longer needs to be this hot. It's already boiling, so we can just bring it down and we mix and let the heat and the alcohol and the thyme and the bouillon do its thing. Oh, the smell of it is amazing. So good. And we're gonna take it out. Why? Because I want to use it later. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this bowl here and I'm going to pour all this garlic into it with the oil and the whole shebang. Yes, still boiling. You see that? Oh, phenomenal. Okay, so now we're gonna add a little bit more oil and let it get hot. And when it's really hot, we're gonna throw in our onions. All right, I think we're hot enough. At this point, we're just going to eat that onions. jus sauce is cooking. The steak is coming along nicely. Look at that steak. Throw some of that salt and pepper in there. A little more oil. Now we're gonna grab some of this. And some of that sauce in here. And now I lower the heat and let it come to its own caramelized state, at which point I'm going to add those garlic and that oil. Okay, next, now that the meat is almost ready to be taken out, we're gonna sear the meat. I'm gonna throw some olive oil and some butter. Now we got some butter on the pan. Now the butter is melting. We're gonna go and we're gonna fetch our steak. Look at our steak. Oh, this is gorgeous. Oh, look at that. The rope actually cut through the meat. Wow, amazing, amazing. I'm gonna keep that stuff in there. I'm going to use this juice for our jus, because that's what we were waiting for. Set that aside. And now I am going to take good 2 slices out of this. Let's do it one for now. Look at this. Look at this beauty. Look at this goodness. This is amazing. Look at this meat. 130 degrees. Gorgeous. We're gonna put our steak and we're gonna slice it. All right, now we're gonna slice it to nice and thin pieces like this. That is beautiful. Here, I'm gonna take preheat the oven to 350 to 400 degrees. A couple of these gorgeous breads and put them on the oven. All right, so I'm going to start here. At this point, we're going to start building the sandwich. So we'll start with the tzatziki sauce. Spread it around, just like that. A little bit too much on this one, so take some of it and put it on the other one. Right? Now I'm gonna take some of that meat. I'm gonna throw it there. Just like that. Great. I'm gonna bring some of these onions. Just like that. Okay, so that's one. The jus.
And now the close up time. Here is the jus sandwich, or whatever you want to call it. Look at that good. Look at the meat in there, the onions. Oh, amazing. It's just so good. I can't wait to sink my teeth into it. I hope you guys got inspired by this sandwich idea and make your own. Go ahead and try it. It's phenomenal. The meat, the sauce, everything. If you like what I did, like my video, subscribe. The button for subscription is supposed to be showing up somewhere there on the screen right now. I also have the social links available on the profile page, and I'm gonna put them on the description of the video so you guys can follow me on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and whatnot. And I'll see you in the next episode. You take care of your loved ones and have a wonderful day.